So I get a variation of this question frequently, so I wanted to kind of tackle it. Now, one of the things that I said recently, not just in the last video, but a few videos from then, and then a few videos from then as well, is one of the things I recommend for Facebook dropshipping specifically is not necessarily to always use the same three, retail sites that everybody else uses, right? So to recap what I was basically saying before we answer this question more in depth for you, I was basically saying, if possible, don't always use Amazon, Walmart, and Home Depot. The reason being is they are great sites to use. Don't get me wrong, right? You can start with them. You can build, a lot of good listings with them because you're going to get you're going to be able to use all sorts of their listings, all sorts of their products, and they have so many products. They have great low prices. They have fast shipping. They're reputable companies, and their product catalogs are just there's so many products to list from, right? But that said, chances are a lot of other beginners that get into this as this gets more saturated, and everybody else that's doing it right now also are drop shipping from those same suppliers, right? So you can still use them. I'm not saying don't use them. I still list from time to time from Walmart, Amazon, and Home Depot as well, right? But I'm moving away from that. I try not to, and the majority of my listings are not on those three retail sites, okay? So you can go out and find wholesale suppliers. You can go out and find other retail websites. I'm going to cover specifically how you can do all of those here and how to find other suppliers that nobody else is really seeing here in a second, okay? But the main thing I was saying is you don't necessarily have to avoid them 100%, but I'm saying don't build, if you're starting to build out all your listings, you don't want to spend all this time building out 500 to 1,000 listings just on Amazon, or 500 to 1,000 listings just on Walmart or something like that, right? Don't just use those. You can still use those, but also use other retail websites, also use other wholesale websites potentially if you want to go that route as well, because long term, over time, as you build this out, you're going to be able to get other listings and other products that nobody else is listing, and therefore you can carve out a specific niche product for yourself that you don't really have a lot of competition for, and nobody else will necessarily be using that supplier and that product, okay? So that's all I was basically saying, which leads me into today's question, which is, if not those three big retailers, then who, okay? Any suggestions? And this is a question specifically from Dave, as you can see, but I've been getting a variation of this question a lot ever since I put that first tip video out. And so my main answer, literally any site that is reliable, obviously, and ships out within 3 days. Why ships out within 3 days? Because on Facebook, you have to input the tracking within 3 days after you get the order, okay? So if you do go to the Zeedrop website, let's X out of this really fast, and you go to the main Zeedrop website, you'll see all of these websites listed on their homepage. And you can use any one of these websites. They're all great websites to use. Some of them are better than others. Some of them, they all integrate with Zeedrop, meaning if you're on a listing on overstock.com, for example, any of their listings, you're going to see that Zeedrop button somewhere where it says copy over to Facebook, copy over to Etsy, and recently they've put in copy to Mercari, although I haven't really tested it out too much yet. I think I listed 2 things like that just to see if it worked all right. But so you can use any one of these websites here, and they all integrate with Zeedrop. So if you're using Zeedrop, this is a great place to start. Use some of these other websites that aren't Amazon, Walmart, and Home Depot, okay? Now, you don't just have to use these. Obviously, you can list a lot faster with these, okay? But you can also list from other random sites, right? So I just pulled up randomly, because it's moving into spring now and it's getting nice out. I was thinking originally okay, who else has patio furniture that I can list that nobody else is listing from that I know will ship out fairly fast. And so I was basically just Googling patio furniture, ended up on Raymore and Flanagan's website, just to give you a random example of another website that you can potentially do it from, right? So for example, if you find that patio furniture, and I'm not saying go list patio furniture, because while it is a hot item right now, everybody else is in that mindset and everybody else is listing patio furniture, right? So you don't want to necessarily be listing that right now, in my opinion. I have listed it. I think I've gotten a lot of views and a couple sales, but nothing really has taken off crazily for me. You can list it, you can try it, you might find success with it. What I'm saying is chances are everybody else is also listing that, right? But I was just wanted to give you an example of how to find another website. If you find something if you figure out lights are hot right now. It's a terrible example when I'm looking up in the corner and I see a light, right? So if you find that that's a hot item, then you can just Google lights or something like that. That's a terrible example. Or bedside clocks, another random example. But you get the picture, right? You go to Google, you type in bedside clock and see what suppliers pop up. Pottery Barn, you see Hatch, you see Wayfair. Wayfair also integrates with Zeedrop as well, and there's a number of other ones, okay? So that's ways that you can find websites to do this from. But if you were listing from a website where Zeedrop does not integrate, then it's simple. Obviously, let me drag myself over here. You just take the screenshot or the snippet of the actual pictures, and this takes a little bit longer to do, but this is how dropshipping used to work before there was like integrations like Zeedrop, right? So then you take the picture, you save it, you want to take all the pictures, you just copy and paste the description. And then another thing is you have to, have some kind of inventory system, right? Because it's not going to store in Zeedrop because you're not using Zeedrop to actually pull the listings. So with Zeedrop, it actually stores all your inventory, so you can go back and search through it and find that piece of inventory, and you don't need an inventory system to keep track of it. But if you're not using Zeedrop and you're taking it from a random website like this where you're not using Zeedrop, then obviously you need to have an inventory system. So I'm not going to cover that specifically here. Go watch a tutorial that I've done in the past on Facebook dropshipping, and you can watch my inventory system and how I do that with numbers and then folders. It's very, very simple. Anybody can set that up, okay? So that's an example of any other website, any other way that you can find products like this, okay? Now, if you're on a site like Amazon, for example, drag myself over. If you're on a site like Amazon, for example, right? And obviously this is a bad example because with Zeedrop, it integrates up here. So you can just move over and copy it to Facebook. But you can also, if you're not on a site like Amazon, you can download another like e-commerce plugin for Google Chrome, like e-commerce image downloader right here. And you'll see it pop up with something like this, where you can literally just download all the pictures super fast and you don't need to take screenshots, right? And you can get one that integrates on like a number of websites. I just hit download instead of download all. That was my mistake. So I need to download all the pictures, and you'll see just how fast it downloads all the pictures to my folder. Go into downloads, and bam, all the pictures are right there. I don't need to save them. I don't need to do anything. It doesn't take me, and it saves me a lot of time. It doesn't take me like 2 minutes to screenshot and save all the pictures, okay? And then all you have to do is obviously set the price, copy and paste the listing, make the title, and you get the picture, okay? So that's the short answer, obviously, of if not the big three retailers, where else can you list from? You can list from any of these actual websites right here that Zeedrop integrates with, or you can go rogue and go somewhere else where nobody else is really going to be using. Because this is easy, obviously, and it integrates with all these websites, you can do them very fast, and that's a benefit. But also everybody else is also using these websites and dropshipping from these. And so if you do go and do other listings from other websites, that also might be a benefit, because while it might take you slower to be able to list them, even if you're using like an e-commerce image downloader or something like that, not many other people are listing and dropshipping on Facebook Marketplace from those sites, okay? So I just wanted to kind of touch on that really fast. I wanted to answer that question because I've been seeing a variation of that question a lot recently, and I kind of wanted to tackle it for you. I'm not saying don't ever list from those. That's not what I'm saying. All I was saying is don't build every single listing if you're scaling this up from those. Maybe do like 60-40, right? Like 60% Amazon, Walmart, and eBay, or Amazon, Walmart, eBay is another one. We'll throw that one in there, and Home Depot, and then some other random ones as well, right? Or 70-30 or something like that, or even 50-50, okay? The main thing I wanted to hit home is, you're going to know what works for you by doing it and testing it out. Nobody can sit here and make videos and tell you the best products to list specifically, because like I said before, it's going to depend on your location. It's going to depend on your price. It's going to depend on a number of other things. The only way that you're going to find products that work for you is to actually list from them. And so I would recommend trying both of them. Don't avoid those three, but definitely don't make them like, the bones of your store. So hope that helps. Hope that answers your question, guys. If you have any other questions, just drop them in the comments below, and I'd love to answer them for you. And if I get enough questions on a similar topic, maybe I'll make another video like this. So hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.